Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So we got two interesting things that popped off. Well, one that happened not today, but was still interesting nonetheless, being this show called Black of Fuck. Um, I was actually kind of anticipating it being pretty hype after seeing like the very first opening, and I was watching it on Crunchyroll at first, but I wanted to like just Crunchyroll on its webs on the YouTube site, so I wanted to like go in and watch it somewhere else too, just to make sure the translations are all lined up and all that good stuff, because sometimes they get versions of the show that aren't really the best representation of the show, so it's nice to get like multiple perspectives to see if everything lined up. And man, was this anime brutal. Our young little girl, who is probably going to be one of the weirdest mixtures of like dopeness when it comes down to her being straight up a ninja, and then on top of that being intelligent enough to maybe be one of the top scientists out there. So that's still to be determined, and how well she was doing in that field, seeing how she wanted to follow after her father and whatnot. So we don't know exactly how like how well she would have done, or how well she is doing in general. So I also kind of like that fact that they just bring that to the forefront. They kind of show you that this is what is possible to already like happen. Her father is already a genius, and if they can just find out a way to show that she's up there in that intelligence, then they could have a really good chance of doing something huge. So with those two being pretty much just getting, judged by whatever they're putting out, we have some rivals or just some people that don't want them doing well. I can't really tell at this point, but it's interesting enough that once we see this, it leads us to a point of being like, oh, well, whatever happens from here on out, we're probably only going to see nothing but sadness and like tragedy, because once she's a little girl and she actually goes out and finds out, like her test results and what she did on the entrance exam and stuff like that, we're interesting. We're instantly put in a position where all of a sudden now she's arriving home to one of like the worst case scenarios for somebody who not only hasn't even been home in quite some time, but to top it off, you were just texting your family, about everything coming home, and by that time in between, somehow everything has gone wrong completely. So absolutely terrible situation for her to even experience, or anyone to experience. So now that's kind of going to lead into what all does that leave for this character, like how does this forever change them and stuff like that, is always kind of the question at the end of the day now, is what happens and what do you make from these things. She practically recites the normal thing of people who have lost so much, is I'll give up every and anything to pretty much find and defeat and destroy you. So she's bound on revenge, and she has all the right to want to do so. So I like that aspect of the show. Give us a reason why this character wants revenge, and make it a good enough reason for us to like back it, because if you can do that, the show will write itself after that. Once you already have introduced us to the people who are the villains, being the old friends of our main girl's dad, seemingly, with the first guy being the professor, who's using like his own daughter to kind of manifest the power, and by manifesting her power, she's pretty much just making her more susceptible to control and using it at his own leisure, pretty much. So with that being a thing, I'm looking forward to seeing just what all like comes from this. Like, there's not a lot of things that I can really see coming from this, but absolute carnage. Like, she's literally going to destroy everybody. Her grandpa said it's going to be like hide and seek, but to be fair, she is absolutely right when she's going to be the one, finding them and all this information in anything, shape, or form to take them out. So it's getting interesting in this show really quickly. And the one thing that I kind of didn't like about it, and the only reason why I'm kind of dropping it later than as soon as it came out, is because I was hoping to get like more information to see where would it wind up as the show goes on. Like, is there going to be another episode that's this same episode and I could have just waited until episode 1 and not done this review? Or is this going to be the precursor that you needed to see and it's just going to kick off right where this left off, which is kind of sucky for other people who don't watch it, or if you did watch it and then the next thing comes out for it, it's the same episode. That kind of sucks too. But regardless of that, I look forward to seeing what you guys are thinking about this. Should we put it up on the channel? Are you guys going to be checking it out? Is it something you are interested in? We got like a young ninja Tony Starks, pretty much. Like, this has a lot of promise in it, and not only was the promise coming from the actual plot and how everything kind of transpired, but it really comes from this main character being so dope, in the case of being so well rounded, and then also not needing to be a male character too. So I have really high hopes for the girl, see how much girl power she can bring to this and how dope this can actually turn out at the end of the day, because the concept's there, the really sad stuff is there, and to throw away everything for one cause usually doesn't lead you down the best path, right? I mean, she could go down a really decent path and be happy after she's done and stuff, but until that time, we're probably going to see her go to some very dark places to, either get information or to just be much more just more capable than she already is, or something along those lines. So looking forward to seeing a little bit more of this, at least to the point of if I'm gonna continue to have it on the channel, if you guys want it or something along those lines. Should be interesting nonetheless. I might, even if I don't do reviews on it, I probably might have it on the channel, or not channel, but I'll probably watch it regardless. So if you ask me questions about it, I'll probably know what's going on just because I watch it here and there. But with all that being said, have an amazing night, evening, morning, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I promise you we're going to get back to that regular scheduled time of when I'm dropping videos. I'm still recovering from the birthday, so I do apologize, but clearly you guys are the homies and Anime G's yourselves, so you're already just giving me that time to recover, and I truly, truly appreciate it. So I'll keep bringing out content as soon as possible, and if I don't drop something, there's usually a reason, and you can find it somewhere on my channel. So with that, peace.